Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mr. Benito's virtual second grade classroom. Today, we are going to be learning about figurative language, which I like to call the juice of writing. Now, the reason I call it the juice of writing is because figurative language is really that part that is most interesting, that can really make writing jump off a page. So just like juice is the tastiest part of a fruit, figurative language can sometimes be the most exciting, tastiest part of writing. So there are a few different kinds of figurative language, and there are many ways that figurative language can be used. This video is just going to deal with two specific types of figurative language. One of them is called similes, and one of them is called metaphors. Now, the purpose of similes and metaphors is to make your writing and to make a point in a more interesting way. Okay? So basically, the point of figurative language is to make your writing a little bit more interesting. Okay? And I'm going to get into why it makes it more interesting too. All right, I hope everyone has their water. Okay, if not, pause and go get it. All right, here we go again. Similes and metaphors. So again, similes and metaphors are used to compare two different things. Now, a lot of the times they might have something in common. And before I get to my examples, I have a little story for you all. It was one of our last days going into LOP, and my wife, Kelly, made a breakfast sandwich for me. Carried it out with my bags and my lunchbox. I put everything in the car, started my car right up, and I started driving. I did not realize that I forgot my breakfast sandwich on the roof of my car. Now, it didn't take a lot of driving for me to realize that it fell off and that one of my back tires ran right over that sandwich. So you know what I did? I made it into a simile. Let's check it out. So my sandwich, which had been run over, was flat like a pancake. So again, this is a comparison. We're comparing my sandwich, my breakfast sandwich to be exact, to a pancake and what a pancake looks like. Now, if I say it was flat like a pancake, then it's comparing the thickness of the sandwich to the pancake. It's not saying it is the color of a pancake. It's not saying that it tastes like a pancake. It's just saying it was flat like a pancake. So again, one similarity between the two different things. Okay, and again, similes use the words like or as. So, I'm sure many of you have noticed now at this point, but the word that we found in the sentence is like. So, my sandwich was flat like a pancake. Now, this second sentence gets into how I was feeling a little bit. I was as sad as a broken toy. Now, think about a broken toy. Many people might feel that it is useless. Because of that, I feel that it's also sad. So here I am, I'm comparing my feelings to feeling like a broken toy. Do we have like or as? We certainly do. Okay, so these are examples of similes. Again, comparisons, using those words like or as. And I will give some more examples when we go forward a little bit further. Maybe I'll give you one right now. How about this? I think about a lot of students in our second grade classes. And I think about how we've been doing running during recess. And I think about how a lot of times when I'm looking at these students, I look at them and I'm thinking, wow, these students are running as fast as cheetahs. Do we see the comparison? Students are running fast. Okay, so it's the students being fast comparing to cheetahs. Now, what do we know about cheetahs? Am I saying that the students were running on all fours? No. Am I saying that The students have beautiful coats that look orange and yellow with black in them. No, I'm comparing the speed. The students were as fast as cheetahs. And again, since I used as, that is a simile. We're going to move to metaphors. We'll come back. A metaphor, again, also a comparison. Everything we're doing today, comparisons. So, a metaphor is a comparison, but this one is different because it doesn't use the words like or as in the sentence. So you can tell if there's a comparison, you know automatically if it's a simile because it has like or as. If you're not sure, look for those words. Those are secret words. Okay? So, metaphor. My tears were a river running down my cheeks. Now you can see that I'm still very attached to this story. Okay, this sandwich affected me. So, my metaphor here, my tears were a river running down my cheeks. Well, let's think about that. First, do we see like or as? No. So it's definitely not a simile. Now, let's see if it's a comparison. My tears were a river down my cheeks. So I'm comparing my tears and a river. Now, if you think about it, a river is a lot of water, right? It's not a couple drops. So that should be a little bit of a fun way to show people that I am really crying a lot. Now, crying might not be the funnest thing, but this is a fun way to write about it or to describe it. Okay, remember, this is how we can make our writing more interesting. And is it more interesting to say, my sandwich fell off, I ran over it, and I was sad? Or if instead of saying I'm sad, I say, my tears were a river running down my cheeks. A little bit more dramatic, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more interesting. So again, this is a nice creative way to show that I was crying a lot. It's clearly attached to my sandwich. Okay, now on this bottom part, I have some sentences written down. Now, I didn't say whether they are similes and whether they are metaphors. So maybe we can do this together. All right, these are some good sentences. The siblings fought like cats and dogs. So the siblings fought like cats and dogs. Is it a comparison? We're comparing the siblings fighting to cats and dogs fighting. Seems like a comparison. Do we have the word like or as? I believe we do. So the siblings fought like cats and dogs would be a simile. I'll put an M if it's a metaphor, okay? Mr. Foley is a chicken during scary movies. I'm sorry, Mr. Foley, I had to let him know. He is a chicken during scary movies. Do we see the word like or as? I don't see it. Now, is it comparing Mr. Foley's reaction during scary movies to how a chicken feels scared? Well, yes, it is comparing those things. So Mr. Foley is a chicken during scary movies. That one is a metaphor. The classroom was a zoo. First of all, was the classroom literally a zoo? No, probably not. We probably didn't have rhinoceros or elephants and different lizards running around. No, I'm sure. But it's comparing probably the sounds of the classroom, right? So the classroom, almost like it sounded like a zoo. So it's comparing the sound of the classroom to the sound of a zoo. Do we have like or as? We do not. So this one is a metaphor. That's right. Very good. Our next one. My cousin is as playful as a kitten. Do we have a comparison? Okay. Comparing the cousin being playful to how a kitten is playful. Sounds good. Checks out. Now, do we have like or as? We certainly do. So this one would be a simile. That's right. If you see those like or as words, that's a huge hint, a big clue. Now, our last one for right now. My son turned as red as a tomato when I tickled him. I know I turn red like a tomato too when I'm tickled. But let's see first here. Enough about me. Back to the sentence. Are we comparing? Yes, we're comparing my son turning red to how a tomato is red. Okay, comparison checks out. Do we have the words like or as? Yes, we do. So this is a simile. Now, I had one sentence I forgot to write down, but I am going to write it right now. Now, my last sentence, I want you to tell me simile, metaphor. What do we think? Now, my last sentence is I like pizza. And now, first of all, that is also a true statement. Secondly, let's look. Is it a simile or a metaphor? I see the word like, so that rules out metaphor, but it leaves us with simile, right? But now let's take a look at it. Is it comparing anything? I like pizza. Well, no, it's not comparing anything, is it? So this one, I guess we could say, is neither. So that was just a little bit of a lesson at the end there, that just because a sentence has like or as in it doesn't mean it's a simile. It has to also be comparing. Sound good? Any questions? Well, all right then. If you would like to, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may feel free to, in the comments below, post your own simile or metaphor. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Good luck and be well.